This is the Venerable Chögyam Trungpa Rinpoche seminar entitled Meditation in the Three Yanas, held in Boulder, Colorado at the Naropa Institute. This is talk number 5, June 27th, 1979. This is an ARP digital remaster made November 2007.
Good evening. Tonight we discuss also practice of meditation, and this seems to be the fourth talk, right? Fourth talk altogether. In discussing basic Hinayana discipline of practice of meditation altogether. Just out of interest and also further studying in the scholarship of how we discuss about tonight's talk, maybe one of you could tell us what you heard of the previous talk on the practice. Anybody would like to say something? What did you hear? Maybe one of you could give us rendition of it. Microphones, please. Maybe you could read out your notes. Anybody? All right. Gentleman here. Can you tell us?
Was your question an overview of what's been said thus far, or just the last talk?
The last talk, so we can make connections with this talk. All right?
Well, the last talk you gave, or the last talk we heard?
What?
The last talk that you gave, or the last talk?
No, not my last, but the last talk of this particular course, given by the regent, right? All right?
Well, he was kind of discussing how through the mindfulness meditation of following your breath out, it evolves into Vipassana, into insight, into the arising of intellect, a clean intellect.
And that's it.
And he was discussing the post-meditative state of after you get off your cushion, how, what was kind of going on, and how sitting on your cushion when you're working on mindfulness, when you get up into the world, you are more aware of what is happening. You have a greater awareness. And how you can begin to see, by practicing meditation, past your own sort of ego and get a clear picture of what's happening.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, tonight we could discuss the product of Shamatha discipline, which lead us into what is known as Vipassana. Vipassana, and that particular term means insight or clear vision. Also, it means seeing superior way, better way than the ordinary way that we see our phenomena. That seems to be the basic point. And that particular practice of Vipassana comes from intense training of the Shamatha discipline altogether. That particular Shamatha discipline consists of, as you know, the very simple and ordinary way of dealing with breath, postures, and mindfulness throughout the whole thing. When a person is actually in tune with that particular situation fully and thoroughly, then we begin to develop mindfulness, and a mindfulness of complete coordination of mind and body altogether. Mind and body altogether. That when mind is controlled, and when mind is go along with the discipline of a sitting practice meditation, with the breath altogether, that your body goes along with that situation. So mind and the body working together, thoroughly, fully. Out of that comes the notion of a somewhat further wakefulness, some kind of delight that you begin to realize that you can actually synchronize your body and the mind can work together. And out of that develops what's called Shinjong, 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 Shin meaning thorough, Jong meaning processed. So a thoroughly processed situation of that mind and the body work together, properly, fully, completely. And as we begin to realize when the mind and the body work thoroughly, properly, completely, that we begin to realize the subconscious gossip and occasional neurosis of such nature are not particularly regarded as a big deal. So there is a less emphasis on freaky qualities of any kind. You might be regarded as freaky, but on the other hand, because that you begin to relate to your mind and the body so thoroughly, so the freak out is at the fringe of your state of being. That is how we slowly, thoroughly and thoroughly to separate the neurosis out of ordinary mind of ours. When the practice of synchronizing mind and body along with the posture together, we begin to realize that we don't have to make a big deal on extra fingers. So, Shinjong discipline is synchronizing mind and body so thoroughly that we don't have to panic on our neurosis. That possibility can only happen if the student had a tremendous sitting practice situation as prescribed in our tradition. Vajradhatu discipline style is like taking good datung, good wigthun, and keeping up with one's own yin-tun practice, so that those processes be prescribed in the sitting practice level, so you begin to find out, begin to be aware of that mind and body can synchronize thoroughly, properly, that problems of tickling, neurosis, whatever you might have, are not necessarily the big deal. They begin to not tickle you less. After that develops what is known as Vipassana discipline, that is to say, sense of intelligence. The intelligence can only occur because when there is a meeting of the mind and the body is happening altogether, fully, thoroughly. The learning process begins to become more important, much more so. Mind and the body synchronized, therefore, at last, our body is ready to study and learn more, and because of that, our mind is more relaxed and willing to learn more, without subconscious gossip of any kind. So at last, we are somewhat at ease situation. Finally, something begins to click in our practice meditation. Mindfulness, and beyond that, awareness begins to take place, which is the next step. Awareness is a product of Vipassana. Awareness is to begin to happen properly, fully. Because of that process of awareness situation, we begin to realize that we can expand further, much further, somewhat very joyfully. And we begin to know the pain and pleasure in the practice altogether. That is to say, neurosis and sanity can be separated so beautifully because of awareness process. Awareness process is expanding your vision further, apart from mindfulness, which is very concentrated. So out of that, you begin to develop total awareness. So you begin to see neurosis, sanity, and what to cultivate, what to work, what not cultivate, what not work. Which brings us to the second level, which is free from perversion of any kind. At that point, the student have no neurotic desire or any intention of twisting anything on your benefit, because you have to sit a lot. Because of free from perversion altogether, we begin to also discover a complete comprehension of our mind and the body and our world altogether. The Shamatha discipline brings mind and body working together, but the two of that situation, then we begin to have a further experience of how to relate with the vast world altogether in terms of our projection of state of mind. That when you have a sky, earth, buildings, people walking around, traffic system, any one of those situations are not regarded as problems, but included in our awareness process, which begin to help us to realize that we don't have to fight our world and to defend our world from any kind of negativities, that we can regard ourselves as a decent human being all along, basically speaking. And the Vipassana principle altogether is a general projection out to the rest of the world within your sitting practice, and also particularly your post-meditation practice altogether. That we do not neglect any hidden corners, any embarrassment corners at all. So we project out altogether, quite thoroughly, with a sense of willing to get into those situations. Sometimes we feel that we couldn't be bothered, feel lazy. We would like to retreat back into our holding into a practice situation alone. But Vipassana discipline allows ourselves to actually get out to every hidden corners of any kind you can think of. So that seems to be basic vision of Vipassana, of being extremely decent and real. So if you'd like to have a discussion, you're welcome.
You made this statement about which means you don't have to fight our world or defend our world.
I beg your pardon?
You made a statement about we don't have to fight our world or defend our world against negativities. And this is something that's been coming up in my...
We don't have to defend our world?
Yeah, or fight our world against negativities. And there was the Vaj Regent made a statement the other day. Said to let the world be as it is. Mm-hmm. And the question I had was, I was imagining myself living in a very large house, and I was living on the top floor. But on the kitchen, where the food was being prepared, there was someone building a bomb, and in the process of building the bomb, there was a lot of very poisonous substances that were coming into where the food was being prepared, and slowly, one by one, the people were becoming ill, and some people were dying. And I was wondering, there I am sitting on the top floor and seeing this going on, and wondering, do I just sit there and watch it go on and sort of imagine that I'm not going to die, or how does one deal with a situation like this?
Well, I think you should go downstairs.
So, see, that it just comes from this question of, there's a question that seems to come up a lot in relation to situations like Rocky Flats and other things that are going on in the world around us, that somehow we don't need to participate in them. And I just wonder how one decides to do that, or how one decides to ignore it. It's all right to do that.
Well, you could come downstairs. Mm-hmm. Idea is that you are not supposedly joining in the crowd of the demonstrators who actually does certain kind of job in presenting rocket flat problems by exposing itself, but on the other hand, that constricts the administration of the rocket flat much more tight. So you don't get anything out of that particularly.
Well, how does one come downstairs?
Well, you just simply come down. Maybe you should check in yourself, employed there. Then you can infiltrate. And meditate with the workers of the rocket flats. And create a meditation sitting room in the rocket flat plant.
Thank you.
Rinpoche, at one point you mentioned when mind and body are synchronized, at last, body is ready and mind is relaxed, with no self-conscious gossip. Does that mean that there's just stillness, or there's gossip but it's not self-conscious gossip? Or
there will be gossip still, but the gossip is less gossipy.
Sort of like the difference between a gale and a light wind?
That's right, yes.
Okay.
Yes, you got it.
Thank you.
I'm interested in the other half of that question. You mentioned the body and mind being synchronized, and I don't really understand how the body gets synchronized with the mind. Could you say a little more about that?
By sitting practice, physically, body slows down properly, fully, and the mind joins along with that. So it's a posture and a technique which brings you together, very simply. We don't have any tricks. Simply body becomes basically synchronized properly. That you can sit on your cushion thoroughly. Out of that develops posture, and mind goes with that.
So the two work together. Sometimes
Very much so.
When you're sitting, your mind is restless, so maybe you're scratching or whatever. It seems like it really does go together.
So the body is cooled that way. All right?
Thank you.
Rinpoche, I'm afraid to wake up, and I start fighting with myself at a certain point. I become aware up to a certain point, and then I don't want to go further because it's hard to face that. It just gets hard because I have to drop my ignorance and my laziness, and at that point I just go and say, what the hell? I just close my eyes again and sort of blinking. It's like this melodramatic love affair with the awakened state of mind, and well, it's quite painful, but it's just it's sort of like a faking it the whole time, and I hate it.
Well, what do you think?
I think I'm a schmuck.
Well, because of that, you could be very decent. You could be very decent because you say so, that you're a schmuck. That's one of the best way of testing gentlemen. If they say they're schmuck, it means they're best. That isn't. If they say they're best, which means they're schmuck. I don't see any particular problems there. You should join more community practice situation so that everybody can see you and you can see everybody. That seems to be the only answer at this point. You are right.
Thank you.
Maybe quite a distant because we are schmuck.
Okay.
Rinpoche, as I was coming here tonight, my mind was quiet. I'd been sitting earlier, and there was thoughts in my mind, but they were quiet thoughts. No. I glanced up at the street, and I noticed, without even thinking about it, there was a car ready to turn across the sidewalk into the parking lot. It was like my body just stopped, and my mind didn't really care one way or the other. As the car pulled in, the driver looked up at me to see how I was reacting to having an obstacle in my way. It was kind of funny because I wasn't reacting at all. I was just waiting for the car to go. Is that synchronization like you're talking about?
What I would say, you should try next time. See how it goes. Whether your present experience goes with the next experience. See what happens. In the meantime, settle out and see what happens.
So that's maybe one example, but I'll learn a lot more.
One never knows. One never knows. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, at this point. And please practice a lot and sit as much as you can, particularly with the study. Very, very helpful. And thank you for being so gentle tonight, particularly. I feel something's changed tonight, actually. Everybody's so gentle and so soothing. It's extraordinary. And let's keep it that way, please. And keep your humor, which is magnificent. Thank you so much.